All right, welcome back to Cooking with a Veteran. As always, I'm your host, Dave Rogers. To all my brothers and sisters out there who are struggling, going through a hard time, I want you to remember that your story isn't over. You're not alone. We love you. We care about you. You matter. So, in my kitchen today, I'm going to be making up some stew. I got some lamb bones from a local farm, Potts Farm. And I'm going to be making some stew with them. And of course, I'm using my knife from my great friends over there at Black Horse Forge. I appreciate it. Love this knife. And you know me, when I make my stews, soups and stews, I like my vegetables big. I don't like little tiny chops of vegetable. So I'm cutting up some nice chunks of onion. I got some potatoes, got some celery. And right now I got the meat browning up in my cast iron. So let's get into it. So for today, what I'm using, I got some nice lamb bones. It's got a little bit of meat on it. Mostly making a broth soup here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to brown these up on both sides. Listen to that sizzle. Beautiful. All right, so my lamb has been browning up. A nice little bit of color to them. I'm gonna go ahead and remove them at this time, so that I can start up on my base for my soup. I'm going to start by throwing in my onions. I'm going to go ahead and let these saute up. Alright, and the onions are nice and sauteed up. A little bit translucent, not too much. I'm going to go ahead and deglaze the bottom with a little bit of wine. Alright, so I got my deglazing going. And at this time I'm going to go ahead and add in my carrots and my celery and let them start cooking up on the bottom. All right, while my base is cooking up, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut me some potatoes. And again, I'm gonna cut these kind of large. Touch of salt, touch of pepper, and a little paprika. All right, now that the vegetables are slightly cooked, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna throw back in my lamb bones. And I'm only gonna throw in the ones that have some meat on them. The rest of them I'm gonna save up to make some lamb broth for future meals or whatever I'm cooking. All right, I got my bones in. I'm just gonna cover some vegetable broth. And I'm gonna let that cook up for about 40 minutes on the stove at a low heat. All right, so the soup has been cooking for about 40 minutes. Looking great. Look at that. Beautiful lamb broth stew. And now it's time to add in the potatoes. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add in the potatoes. And I'm gonna add in my Italian parsley. And I'm just gonna go ahead and mix that together. Gonna add in just a touch more water. Remember, you don't want to fill it all the way, you don't want it boiling over. All right, got my soup set up here. I'm gonna go ahead and cover it, and I'm gonna let it cook for another 40 minutes on top of the stove. All right, so the stew has been cooking for about 2 hours total. The potatoes are nice and tender. The meat is just falling off the bone. Really nice and tender. Let's give it a try. Love a good lamb stew. Hope you enjoyed joining me on this episode of Cooking with the Veteran. As always, please make sure you like, share, and follow. And until next time, hoorah.